In a lively spaceport on the bustling planet of Zereth, different alien species gathered. Ships from all over the galaxy landed, bringing warriors and travelers. The Galactic Council, a powerful group that kept peace in the universe, announced an urgent mission. They needed brave volunteers to explore a dangerous, uncharted planet called Raxus 9. Rumors spread that the planet was filled with deadly creatures and hidden dangers. In the crowd stood Mira, a skilled human with fiery red hair and sharp green eyes, and her close friend Cade, a tall and muscular Deathworlder with tough skin. Both were known for their bravery and resourcefulness. The Council explained how many alien races hesitated to join the mission, scared of the dangers. Mira felt a surge of determination. She believed that humans and Deathworlders could face any threat. As the Council continued, Mira and Cade exchanged glances. Without hesitation, they stepped forward. "We volunteer," Mira declared, her voice strong and clear. The crowd gasped, surprised by their boldness. Cade smiled, his eyes shining with excitement. They knew that many alien species were strong, but they also believed that humans had unique skills that could help. Mira felt a rush of adrenaline as other volunteers slowly joined them, inspired by their courage. Together, they formed a team ready to face the unknown, determined to protect their galaxy. This was the beginning of their greatest adventure, and they couldn't wait to see what awaited them on Raxus 9. In a lively spaceport on the bustling planet of Zereth, different alien species gathered, filling the air with excitement and chatter. Ships from all over the galaxy landed, bringing warriors, traders, and curious travelers. The atmosphere buzzed with energy as creatures of all shapes and sizes exchanged stories and laughed together. The Galactic Council, a powerful group responsible for keeping peace in the universe, announced an urgent mission. Their leader, Chancellor Alfar, stood tall and imposing before the crowd, his deep voice echoing across the spaceport. "We need brave volunteers to explore a dangerous, uncharted planet called Raxus 9. Rumors spread that this planet is filled with deadly creatures and hidden dangers that threaten our galaxy." As the Council shared more details about the mission, whispers filled the crowd. Many alien races hesitated to join, their eyes wide with fear. Mira, a skilled human with fiery red hair and sharp green eyes, felt a surge of determination rise within her. She turned to her close friend Cade, a tall and muscular Deathworlder with thick, protective skin. Both were known for their bravery, having faced many challenges together. Mira glanced around at the crowd, noticing the worried expressions on their faces. She understood their fear, but she believed that humans and Deathworlders were uniquely equipped to face any threat that Raxus 9 might present. With a sense of urgency, Mira took a deep breath and shouted, "We volunteer." Her voice rang out strong and clear, cutting through the chatter. The crowd gasped in surprise. Cade stood by her side, a grin spreading across his face as he nodded in agreement. They were ready for this challenge, despite the risks. The council members looked impressed as Mira and Cade stepped forward. Slowly, inspired by their courage, other brave souls began to join them. Warriors from different species, once hesitant, now felt a spark of hope ignited by Mira and Cade's boldness. Together, they formed a team, united by their willingness to confront the unknown. As the crowd cheered for the volunteers, Mira felt a rush of adrenaline coursing through her veins. She could see the determination in her teammates' eyes, and she knew they were all ready to face whatever lay ahead. This was the beginning of their greatest adventure, one filled with uncertainty, excitement, and the chance to protect their galaxy from unseen dangers on Raxus 9. Mira and her team would soon learn that bravery isn't the absence of fear, but the willingness to act despite it. With hope in their hearts, they prepared to step into the unknown, eager to see what challenges awaited them on the perilous planet. The sleek ship landed on the rocky surface of Raxus 9 with a soft thud, and the crew felt a mix of excitement and fear. As the hatch opened, a gust of warm air rushed in, carrying the scent of alien plants and the faint sound of distant roars. Mira led the way, stepping onto the uneven ground. The landscape was unlike anything they had ever seen, filled with towering rock formations and strange, twisted trees that looked like they were reaching for the sky. Mira glanced back at her team, ensuring everyone was ready. Cade followed closely, scanning the area with keen eyes. "Stay alert," he warned. "We don't know what's out here." The team nodded, their hearts pounding with a mixture of adrenaline and apprehension. As they ventured further into the unknown, the terrain changed dramatically. The ground became softer and muddier, and the temperature began to rise. "This place is strange," one of the alien warriors whispered, his eyes darting around nervously. "What kind of world is this?" Suddenly, a loud crash echoed through the air. Everyone froze, looking toward the sound. A massive creature emerged from behind a rock, its sharp teeth glinting in the sunlight. It was covered in thick, scaly skin, with glowing red eyes that seemed to pierce through the shadows. The creature let out a terrifying roar that shook the ground beneath their feet. Mira's heart raced, but she remembered her training. "Everyone, stay calm," she shouted, trying to keep the team together. "We'll work together to handle this." She quickly scanned her surroundings, looking for anything that could help them. Cade stepped forward, his muscles tense and ready for action. "I'll distract it," he said, his voice steady. "You all find a way to outsmart it." Mira nodded, appreciating Cade's bravery. She had seen him fight before, and she knew he could handle himself against the creature. Cade charged toward the creature, shouting and waving his arms to get its attention. The beast turned, its eyes narrowing as it focused on him. Mira took a deep breath, knowing this was their moment to act. She signaled to the others to spread out and flank the creature. While Cade kept the beast occupied, Mira and another team member quickly gathered some rocks and branches. They worked together to create a distraction, throwing the objects in the opposite direction. The creature's attention shifted, allowing Cade to back away slowly. "Now," Mira yelled. The team launched their makeshift projectiles, causing the creature to roar in frustration. It turned toward the noise, giving them just enough time to regroup. "Let's move," Mira shouted, leading them deeper into the forest. As they pressed on, the team encountered more strange and terrifying creatures, each more frightening than the last. With each challenge, Mira's leadership and quick thinking shone brighter. She encouraged her team to use their unique strengths, whether it was Cade's brute force or the agility of their alien companions. Hours passed as they navigated the treacherous landscape, encountering poisonous plants and hidden pitfalls. The sun hung low in the sky, casting long shadows across the ground. The group was tired but determined. They knew they had to push through if they wanted to complete their mission. Eventually, they found a small clearing where the sunlight broke through the thick trees. "Let's rest here for a moment," Mira suggested, sensing the weariness in her teammates. They settled on the soft ground, catching their breath and sharing stories of their homes. The team grew closer during this break, their shared experiences making them feel like a true family. As they rested, Mira looked up at the sky, feeling a sense of hope. They had faced dangers together and survived. She knew they were becoming stronger, not just as individuals but as a team. They were learning to trust one another, and that trust would be crucial for the challenges ahead. "All right, everyone," Mira said after a while, determination in her voice. "We've made it this far, and we can go even further. Let's get moving before the sun sets completely. We need to find the source of the threats on this planet." Her team nodded, ready to continue their journey. As they stood and prepared to move forward, they knew they were not just fighting for their own survival. They were fighting for the safety of their galaxy. With each step deeper into Raxus 9, they grew stronger and more united. The true adventure was just beginning, and they were ready to face whatever awaited them. With a renewed sense of determination, Mira and her team set out from the clearing, pushing deeper into the heart of Raxus 9. The atmosphere grew denser, and the air was thick with the scent of exotic flowers and damp earth. Strange sounds echoed all around them. Chirps, growls, and rustling leaves that made the alien world feel alive and unpredictable. As they walked, Mira couldn't shake off a growing sense of unease. The environment seemed to shift around them, as if the planet itself were watching. "Stay close," she reminded her teammates. "We need to watch each other's backs." Cade took point, his senses sharp. He moved carefully, scanning for any signs of danger. The rest of the team followed closely behind, their eyes wide with a mix of curiosity and caution. Suddenly, the ground beneath them trembled slightly, causing Mira to stumble. "What was that?" one of the alien warriors asked, looking around nervously. "Not sure," Mira replied, regaining her balance. "But we should be careful." They continued, and the trembling grew stronger. Then, out of nowhere, the ground split open, revealing a deep chasm filled with thick, green mist. It was a hidden sinkhole, and they barely had time to react. Mira jumped back, just as a sharp claw shot up from the ground, aiming for Cade. He dodged to the side, narrowly escaping the creature that had been hiding below. It was another beast, larger and more menacing than the previous one. This creature had thick, armored skin, and its eyes glowed in the mist. "Back up," Mira shouted. The team instinctively fell back, forming a defensive circle around Cade, who was ready to face the new threat. The creature lunged, snapping its jaws, but Cade was quick. He used his strength to push it back, forcing it to rethink its approach. The team worked in unison, using everything they had learned from their earlier encounters. They communicated through nods and gestures, coordinating their movements. Mira remembered the makeshift traps they had set earlier. "Let's try to lure it into that sinkhole," she yelled, pointing toward the chasm. The team quickly agreed, working together to distract the creature. They threw rocks and branches toward the edges of the hole, trying to lead it in that direction. The creature, furious and confused, chased after the noises. As it neared the edge, Mira's heart raced. "Now," she shouted. Cade and another teammate pushed against the beast, forcing it to stumble. With a loud roar, the creature lost its balance and fell into the chasm, its growls fading as it disappeared into the mist below. Breathing heavily, the team took a moment to catch their breath. "That was too close," Mira said, glancing at Cade, who was still on high alert. "Good teamwork, everyone," Cade replied, a proud smile on his face. "We did it together." As they continued on, Mira felt a stronger bond forming between them. They were no longer just individuals, they were a team, each person playing a crucial role in their survival. The challenges they faced were making them closer and more capable. But as they pressed deeper into Raxus 9, Mira felt a sense of foreboding. They had faced dangerous creatures, but she knew there were more threats lurking in the shadows. She had to keep her team focused and ready for whatever came next. Hours later, they stumbled upon an ancient structure covered in vines and strange, glowing plants. It looked like a temple, standing tall and proud despite its age. Mira felt a shiver run down her spine. "What do you think this place is?" she asked, stepping closer to the entrance. "I've heard stories of temples built by ancient civilizations," Cade replied, his eyes scanning the area. "This might be one of them." "Let's explore," Mira suggested, her curiosity getting the better of her. The team agreed, and they moved cautiously toward the entrance, their footsteps echoing in the silence. Inside, the air was cool, and the walls were lined with glowing symbols and carvings that told stories of long-lost battles and heroic deeds. Mira could sense the history surrounding them. "This is incredible," she whispered, her fingers brushing against the carvings. But as they moved deeper into the temple, they began to notice strange markings on the ground. Fresh claw marks that sent a chill through Mira. "We need to be careful," she warned. "Whatever made these marks is close by." Just then, they heard a low growl echoing through the hallways. The team stopped, eyes wide with fear. Mira's heart raced as she realized that they were not alone in the temple. The hidden dangers of Raxus 9 were far from over, and they would have to face whatever lurked in the shadows if they wanted to survive this adventure. The real test of their courage was about to begin. The low growl echoed off the temple walls, growing louder as it approached. Mira felt her heart race as fear gripped her. "Stay together," she commanded, her voice steady despite the growing tension. The team instinctively huddled closer, backs to one another, eyes scanning the dimly lit corridor for any signs of movement. Cade stepped forward, brandishing a sturdy branch he had picked up. "I'll go check it out," he said, determination in his voice. "We can't let whatever is lurking in here catch us off guard." "Wait," Mira protested. "We should stick together. It's too dangerous to split up." But Cade was already moving, his muscles tense and alert. He slowly advanced into the darkness, peering into the shadows with keen eyes. As Cade ventured deeper, the growling intensified, vibrating through the ground. The rest of the team waited anxiously, gripping their makeshift weapons tightly. "We have to be ready for anything," Mira whispered, her heart pounding in her chest. Suddenly, Cade called back to them, his voice strained. "There's something here. It's big." Just then, the growling stopped, replaced by an eerie silence that made everyone shiver. Before Mira could respond, a massive shadow emerged from the darkness. The creature was even larger than the last one they had faced. Its scales shimmered with hues of blue and green, and its eyes glowed like embers. The creature looked like a combination of a dragon and a lizard, and it was glaring directly at Cade. "Get back," Mira shouted, panic coursing through her veins. Cade quickly retreated, the creature following him with a swift, powerful lunge. The team barely had time to react as they scattered, trying to avoid the massive beast. "Form a line," Mira yelled. They quickly rearranged themselves, creating a barrier to protect each other. Cade, still on his feet, raised his branch, ready to strike if necessary. The creature snarled, baring its sharp teeth, and then lunged again. Cade swung his branch, aiming for its snout, but the creature was too quick. It dodged to the side, using its powerful tail to knock Cade off balance. He fell to the ground with a thud, but he quickly rolled away just in time to avoid being crushed. "Cover him," Mira yelled. The others moved in, launching their rocks and sticks at the creature to divert its attention. Their projectiles bounced off its thick hide but distracted it long enough for Cade to regain his footing. "Thanks, guys," Cade exclaimed, determination shining in his eyes. "Let's show this beast what we're made of." With a renewed sense of unity, the team coordinated their efforts. Mira and another team member worked together to create a distraction while Cade and the others prepared to flank the creature from both sides. Mira shouted, "Now, everyone, move." They sprang into action, surrounding the creature. Cade and Mira both charged forward, each aiming to strike at its vulnerable spots. The creature, realizing it was outnumbered, let out a deafening roar. Mira lunged, aiming for the creature's legs, but it swatted her away with its massive claw. She tumbled to the ground, pain shooting through her side. "I'm okay," she called out, gritting her teeth as she stood up again. Cade didn't hesitate. He charged at the creature with renewed fury. "You picked the wrong team to mess with," he shouted, swinging his branch with all his strength. The blow landed squarely on the creature's snout, making it stumble back. With a fierce growl, the beast focused on Cade, its fiery eyes filled with rage. Mira knew they had to finish this quickly before the creature could retaliate. She signaled to the team to regroup and prepare for a final push. "Together," she shouted, her voice filled with determination. "On my count. 1, 2, 3. They all charged at the same time, throwing everything they had at the creature. Cade ducked low, trying to trip the beast, while Mira and the others aimed for its legs, hoping to bring it down. The creature thrashed, desperately trying to shake them off. But their teamwork was too strong. They moved as one unit, coordinating their attacks flawlessly. Finally, with a combined effort, they pushed the creature back toward the edge of the chasm they had discovered earlier. With one last powerful shove, they sent it tumbling into the depths below. It roared as it fell, its cries fading into the mist. Breathing heavily, the team stood together, exhilarated but exhausted. "We did it," Cade exclaimed, raising his branch triumphantly. "We took down a Deathworlder." Mira smiled, feeling pride swell within her. "That was amazing teamwork, everyone. We proved that we can face anything together." They took a moment to catch their breath, the adrenaline still coursing through their veins. But they knew their mission wasn't over yet. There were still dangers lurking in the shadows of Raxus 9. As they continued deeper into the temple, Mira felt a sense of purpose. They had faced incredible odds and come out on top. Whatever awaited them next, they would face it together, stronger than ever. The true heart of the adventure still lay ahead, and they were ready to discover what secrets this ancient temple held. With the threat of the creature now behind them, Mira and her team stepped cautiously into the next chamber of the temple. The air was thick with dust, and strange symbols adorned the walls, glowing faintly in the darkness. "What do you think they mean?" Cade asked, running his fingers over the ancient carvings. "I don't know," Mira replied, squinting at the markings. "But they look important. We should document them." The team fanned out, taking careful notes and sketching the symbols. They were a mix of geometric shapes and swirling patterns, creating an intricate design that told a story of its own. As Mira focused on a particularly intricate symbol, she felt a shift in the air. It was subtle but unmistakable, like a breath of wind whispering through the chamber. "Everyone, be quiet for a moment," she said, raising her hand to signal them to stop. The team halted, their breaths held in anticipation. A soft humming sound began to resonate through the walls, increasing in volume as they listened. It felt alive, almost as if the temple itself were responding to their presence. "What is that?" one of the team members whispered, eyes wide with wonder. "I think it's a mechanism," Mira suggested. "Maybe it's linked to the symbols on the walls." She moved closer to the largest symbol, feeling drawn to it. As she reached out to touch it, the humming intensified, and the ground beneath her shook slightly. "Mira, be careful," Cade warned, his eyes darting around the chamber. But it was too late. The moment her fingers brushed against the symbol, the entire room illuminated with a bright light. The walls shimmered, revealing hidden passages and doorways that had been concealed in shadow. "Look at this," another team member shouted, pointing to a newly exposed archway on the far side of the chamber. "We have to explore." Mira nodded, adrenaline surging through her veins. "Let's check it out. But stay alert." They moved toward the archway, the faint glow illuminating their path. The air felt charged with energy, and a sense of excitement built among the team. As they passed through the archway, they entered a narrow corridor lined with more symbols. This time, they were more intricate and detailed, depicting scenes of ancient battles and strange creatures. "This must be a history of the temple and its protectors," Cade said, his voice filled with awe. "Or warnings," Mira added. "We need to be cautious. The stories could hint at the dangers we might face deeper inside." They pressed forward, the corridor eventually leading them into a vast hall. The ceiling soared high above them, and in the center stood a colossal stone statue of a warrior, clutching a sword that seemed to glow with an otherworldly light. "This must be the temple's guardian," Mira said, her voice barely above a whisper. Cade stepped closer to examine the statue. "I wonder if this sword is real." He reached out, but Mira pulled him back. "Wait, we don't know what might happen if we disturb it." As they all gazed at the statue, a low rumble echoed through the hall. The ground trembled beneath their feet, and the air grew thick with tension. Suddenly, the statue's eyes lit up, casting beams of light across the hall. The team jumped back, hearts racing. "What is happening?" one of the team members exclaimed, fear evident in their voice. The statue began to speak, its voice deep and resonant. "You who seek knowledge and power, prove your worth. Only those brave enough to face the trials shall earn the Guardian's blessing." Mira felt a surge of determination. "We can do this. We've already faced so much. We're ready for whatever challenges lie ahead." The statue's eyes dimmed slightly as it continued. "3 trials await you. Each will test your strength, courage, and unity. Only together can you succeed." "Trials," Cade said, his brow furrowing. "What kind of trials?" "Difficult ones, I'm sure," Mira replied, glancing at her teammates. "But if we face them as a team, we can overcome anything." The statue's voice echoed once more. "The first trial will begin now." As it spoke, the ground shifted, and a pathway opened up beneath the statue, leading down into darkness. Mira turned to her team. "Are we ready? We can't turn back now." They exchanged determined glances, each of them silently agreeing. "Let's do this," Cade said, and the team stepped forward, ready to embrace whatever challenges awaited them. Together, they descended into the unknown, their hearts pounding with excitement and fear. As they moved deeper into the temple, Mira felt a sense of purpose. This was their chance to prove themselves, not just to the galaxy, but to each other. They were ready to face the trials ahead, united as one. With every step they took, the thrill of adventure surged within them, pushing them forward into the heart of the temple and the secrets it held. As they descended deeper into the temple, the air grew cooler, and the walls began to shimmer with the faint light of bioluminescent fungi. The path twisted and turned, creating an eerie labyrinth that left the team feeling both excited and anxious. Mira led the way, her heart racing with anticipation for the trials ahead. The first trial was marked by a large archway, adorned with glowing symbols that mirrored those they had seen earlier. As they stepped through, a deep voice echoed in the chamber. "Welcome to the first trial, the trial of strength. Only those who can overcome their physical limits shall pass." Mira glanced at her teammates, who looked both determined and apprehensive. "We can do this. We've trained hard for moments like this," she encouraged them. In the center of the room stood a massive stone pedestal with a large, ancient-looking boulder atop it. "To pass this trial, you must lift the stone and place it on the opposite pedestal," the voice instructed. "But beware, the stone will resist all your strength." Cade stepped forward, muscles tensed. "I'll go first," he said confidently. He approached the boulder, crouched down, and grabbed hold of it. He strained with all his might, his face turning red, but the stone didn't budge. "It's too heavy," he grunted, releasing the stone in frustration. Next, another team member, Leela, tried her hand. She took a deep breath and approached the boulder. Using every ounce of her strength, she pulled with all her might. The stone shifted slightly but remained firmly in place. She stepped back, panting heavily. "This is impossible." Mira thought for a moment, and then had an idea. "What if we work together? If we all pull together, we might have a better chance." Her teammates nodded, hopeful. They all gathered around the boulder, each placing their hands on it. "On 3, we lift," Mira called out. 1, 2, 3. They heaved together, and with a loud grunt, the stone shifted. It rose slightly before settling back down. "Come on, we can do this," Cade shouted, determination shining in his eyes. The team pushed again, and this time, with a collective effort, the boulder moved more. The chamber filled with their grunts and cheers as they struggled, their faces red with effort. Finally, with one final heave, they lifted the stone together and placed it on the opposite pedestal. The chamber trembled with their triumph. A loud rumble echoed, and the voice spoke again. "You have passed the first trial. You demonstrated true strength through unity." The stone pedestal began to glow, and a pathway opened up before them, leading to the next trial. Breathing heavily, but feeling accomplished, they moved forward. The path led them to a larger chamber, filled with strange mirrors that reflected their images in distorted ways. "Welcome to the second trial. The trial of courage," the voice boomed. "Face your fears, and you shall succeed." Mira looked around, confused. "What do you think it means?" she asked. "Maybe we have to confront something we're afraid of," Cade suggested, glancing nervously at the mirrors. Suddenly, one of the mirrors flickered, and a shadowy figure appeared. It looked just like Mira, but with dark eyes and a menacing smile. "You're not strong enough," the figure taunted. "You will fail, just like you always have." Mira stepped back, heart racing. "That's not me," she shouted, trying to shake off the fear. Another mirror glowed, revealing Cade's fear, a gigantic creature towering over him, snarling. "You'll never be brave enough to defeat me," it roared, causing Cade to freeze in place. Lila's mirror reflected her past failures, moments when she felt weak and helpless. "You're a disappointment," the image sneered. "This is just an illusion," Mira yelled, trying to rally her friends. "We need to face these fears together. They can't hurt us if we don't let them." Cade clenched his fists and stepped toward his mirror. "I am brave. I won't let this hold me back," he shouted defiantly at the creature, feeling the surge of strength. Lila followed suit, stepping forward to confront her fears. "I am strong, and I've overcome so much. I will not be a disappointment." She felt her confidence growing. Mira took a deep breath and faced her dark reflection. "You're not me. I have overcome my past. I am stronger than my fears." As they all shouted their declarations, the mirrors began to crack, shattering the illusions before them. The room trembled as their fears faded away, replaced by a feeling of empowerment. The voice returned, echoing through the chamber. "You have passed the second trial. Your courage has proven stronger than your fears." Relieved and exhilarated, the team moved forward into the next area, where a vast arena awaited them. "This must be the final trial," Mira said, her heart pounding with anticipation. "Welcome to the third trial. The trial of unity," the voice boomed. "To succeed, you must work together as one." In the center of the arena stood a colossal creature, fierce and imposing. "Only by defeating me together can you claim victory," it roared, ready to attack. Mira looked at her friends, determination shining in her eyes. "We've come so far. We can't give up now." As the creature charged, they sprang into action, each member of the team playing their part. Cade distracted the creature, while Lila and Mira worked together to coordinate their attacks. They fought with everything they had, supporting each other and learning to trust in their teamwork. With each strike, they grew more confident, the bond between them strengthening. They dodged the creature's powerful blows, their movements synchronized as if they were one entity. After an intense battle, they finally brought the creature down. Panting and bruised but victorious, they stood together, looking at the fallen beast. The voice echoed once more. "You have passed the third trial. Your unity has proven your strength. You are worthy." As the arena brightened, the team felt a wave of warmth wash over them. They had faced their fears, shown their strength, and worked together as a true team. They had truly proven their worth to the Guardian and themselves. Now, as they stood at the center of the arena, they felt ready for whatever lay ahead, knowing that together they could face anything the galaxy threw at them.